We'll open this meeting of July 9th, 2015. Let the record show that Selectman Dawson and Selectman Scanlon are not here, but they are on their way. All right, minutes.
I don't even have a folder. I have no folder.
They're telling you something.
Come on now, I would realize if it was there. Oh, there we go.
Oh, we're supposed to start changing seats. You gotta find your folder, and that's where you sit.
When the music stops.
Sorry.
No, that's totally all right.
I'm waiting to...
Have you already written her review?
Demerit. It's a demerit.
Well,
No.
She's not threatening to split us yet.
Soon. I'd like to make a motion to bring the minutes of Thursday, July 2nd to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Yes?
Sure.
Yes. We have to somehow word on page 2, number 3 and number 4, a little bit different.
Okay,
It's public knowledge now,
okay. I'll add the properties.
just the address, not the names. Or map and lot number
Okay,
would be fine. But nobody's going to know in 5 years what number 3 and number 4 was. Hell, I wouldn't know next week.
please have a dial tone.
Did you plug it into the right thing?
That's where the old one came out of.
Did you set up a meeting with Ms. Tanis?
Yes. Yes, I talked with her, and then Catherine and I day before, spoke with Peter, and then Peter got back to us via email, and I forwarded the emails.
I haven't checked today.
And he He's actually gonna have the contractor turn down the lights
Adjust the angle.
before he spends $8,000 on trees.
Probably, it seems like a much cheaper option.
That, you string up some tarps at the 18-foot level, see, is that even gonna work? Because if it's shooting, coming over it still.
Hey, lowering the light might take care of the
What's-
whole problem for a
Because we
lot
couldn't
less.
guarantee, even 18-feet trees, could we guarantee that they're,
And when they were talking about lighting the whole field safety-wise, I don't see why you don't adjust them on her side to cover where you're missing.
Hey, John.
I was just getting irritated that we were gonna bully the lone property owner. Well, no,
he's out of the loop?
no, I just meant when he commented about how well, she was there first and promises were made.
She's the
you
only
go.
one affected.
Right.
If the others were affected, you wouldn't, you'd
The only
be the...
one in complaint, everybody up there is affected.
No,
Well,
you can't see the light. If you look at the
There's
lighting,
houses on Daniel Drive where you can watch the football game. You must be able to see the light.
you don't see the light the way the position is on that left light. Even on Doug Stricter's property, it doesn't shine as bright as it did on Tanis's, because the pines diffuse that light.
I missed the test.
so did I. That's
We
what.
all did.
So did all of us.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
all
why,
did.
when they do, if they let us know when they do it, I'll try to
Yeah,
get out there to see.
well, we
There's a
can,
whole story that goes with that we won't go into here, but
Exactly where he took out the black.
we're on the minutes.
Oh, okay.
On the wall,
I read
July
through them.
2nd, yeah.
sweating, covered in dirt.
And then we have some corrections on a couple of
All right, thanks. Oh, and also Tim,
pay,
Magenta.
PAR forms,
Ours.
PARs. Just want to make you aware of it, and another correction on the Sergeant 2 position that we did in error. I was hoping that Catherine would be here so we could all do it before the chief got here and go into non-public. Did you get it going?
No. But at least hers is plugged back in.
Where's our IT guy?
So,
Looks like you got a rat's nest
gotta
over
be
there.
the
Got the
cable?
finance hat on at the moment.
Well, I'll try it from my phone in my office. That will tell us for sure if it's the case.
Oh, you unplugged the phone and put the cable in?
Of this black one, I put in the white. And this was right here, put it right in. I crawled underneath, I pulled out the black one, put it
I know, nothing.
3 times.
I could help you, but I don't want to get on my knees right now.
And now I've made a royal mess.
It doesn't suit me.
it's on tape.
All right. Got a note from Peter. Minor miracles do happen from time to time. The lighting contractor can be on site to do an adjustment next Wednesday evening, July 15th. They will also do testing at that time. Is a date and time that can work with you or someone from the town, please advise.
Wednesday night at 9:15,
It just says it July 15th.
July 15th.
I would
But
think it
no
would be at
time.
night. Or
Might get better readings in the daytime, John.
bring your sunglasses.
Okay.
So I would think it would be 9 o'clock or...
Or later, yeah.
But no time.
I'm emailing him back to find out the time. Sounds like I can be there.
Unless I've got to go to New York, which might happen.
Motion for the Sergeant 2 position as a correction to the minutes?
Yep. No,
No?
no. Has to be something, it has to be a separate, yep. Are there any corrections or concerns on the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July 2nd, 2015 as corrected.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let the record show that we're all here. All right, errors on the PAR, I'm going to pass this around, and you can see our vote was 1%, but the difference in monies is different on the PAR, so it was corrected. I'm sure we want to stay with the percentage. I just want to make sure that we're okay with that. Hello.
I still vote no.
I don't know what happened, because the calculator matches what's handwritten in,
Okay.
so I must have had a typo.
So
put it in.
this was what we voted with this, but it's actually this.
Okay.
All right, so pass that down. Just want to make sure everybody is aware of that. This is the other one, the percent, we voted on the percent, we're all set with that? Okay, everybody. And this is the other one, the percent is correct, the monies were not. They've corrected it, so I just want to make sure that you're all aware that the amount has been corrected.
Is it raining out?
You
No.
see how it got corrected? Don't go into it.
You watering the plants out in the trough?
We don't
They're
do
gonna
that.
hurt you.
Yep. Let's keep moving. Okay, here's another error that we need to correct. Last week, I made a motion on the Sergeant 2 position based on incorrect data.
Oh, good, we don't really need to do that?
In our packets and back in June, Tim had given us a sheet that looks similar to this.
I didn't get anything with that on it.
The position was projected at $33.58. It's 7.5% over the corporal. It's a non-union, so it would be a salaried position, which would be not incurring overtime, and that's what was proposed. The original one was way before February, April, in that area, and it was, then we asked him to go and check with Tim, and Tim came up with this as the,
See that?
so that we could more evenly distribute going up here. The total cost this year would be $2,042.72. We were given this back in June, so
I think that's the...
I would like to correct,
It's the old... Sorry.
I would like to correct the motion that was made last week. And Also, too, Tim said if we're going to correct it, could we please correct the start date of 9/1, which is a Tuesday? He would like it to begin on a Monday, so he doesn't have to finagle days and half a week and three-quarters of a week.
Oh, he's real
Wasn't that
wonky.
9/1 sort of a tentative anyways?
No, 9/1 was a start, or the oral boards have to start first, and that was
But if the
immediately.
oral boards weren't finished by 9/1, what happens?
There will be,
Okay.
there will be.
Well, if they weren't, it would just not
So-
be filled.
Right.
Yeah. If they're not, to answer your question, if they're not, we move it out. So that's not an issue. I will make a motion to go with the finance director's
No.
proposal of $33.58
I'll
for the
second that.
Sergeant Two's position,
I'll second.
starting August 31st
What was the amount?
instead of September.
3358.
33.58. You see it up in the upper right-hand corner, upper left-hand corner, John?
Isn't
This
this
is
part
a
of
long-
the discussion?
This is a long motion.
Second.
Discussion. Up on the
Now-
left-hand side, it says
Now-
33.58.
Wasn't our total based on the new corporal rate being 5% above it, and now is this Sergeant
Corporal
Two?
is, the corporal, according to the contract, is 5% above the highest-paid patrolman.
And then isn't the Sergeant Two?
A sergeant in the contract is 5% over, but that's a contractual sergeant. This sergeant is not contractual. It's a salaried position, non-contractual, which will be one that does IA reports, fills in for the captain when he's on vacation, and so on, that.
So is the Sergeant One contractual where the Sergeant Two isn't? or-
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Now, is
Test
that-
on ranks later, Catherine.
Is that 5% above the highest paid corporal? Or do they all make the same?
They all make the same because it's, their pay is based on the highest paid patrolman.
Okay. So in theory, one of those, a patrolman could go to corporal and get less money.
In theory, it
If
would
they've
go
been
to the
here for a
highest
long
paid.
time.
Right.
So if we
Right,
get rid of
because if
all,
Billy Patton leaves, then it goes down to the second one, which would be Matt Dawson at almost $1 cheaper.
Does that mean all the corporals have to take a cut in pay?
If that's the way the contract writes, if it's within the 3 years.
I'm guessing they're gonna change that next time.
can we do a
Just
riff?
saying. I do have an observation, a question, sorta. How is it that all of a sudden we have 3 math errors in 1 week? We never have math errors as a matter of regular course, and we have 3 math errors in 1 week.
When we did this last week, do you remember the internet was down and we were trying to pull up the information on the, doing the PARs last
Yeah.
week, and we did 2 of them side by side, kind of just winging it without the internet,
Oh, so
without
this
the
was a winging
computer.
motion. Okay, then. That explains that one. What about the
Oh,
other 2?
he's looking my way. Here, you
There's only
get it.
2, Joe.
We had the math guy do it,
The
right?
sergeant position is not a math error. The sergeant position is when we pull different data from. It really should have gone from Tim's. I think Tim's data is more formulated and secure.
I say in the future, we make sure Tim's here to,
Right, exactly, to tell us which one we did. But if we all got this package like a month ago, it's in this one, under Sergeant 2.
but he's salaried.
So he'll be a salaried position and no overtime, and there won't be any.
Now, is this one of those 40-hour-a-week salary?
I had a question, maybe I misunderstood, but I understood that he was going to be getting 5% more than whoever was getting was 5% more than the corporal. And that's what we got in the
When
minutes,
I read
right?
that last week, John, I was reading from old data. If it were a contractual, and it said in the minutes, contractual, a sergeant would be getting 5% over a corporal. We have a Sergeant 2 position, which is a non-contractual position, a salaried position, and that position will incorporate IA investigations and filling in for the captain.
So a
So that's
contractual
a-
would be a union,
Right.
and non-contractual is...
Is administration. And they go by a merit increase with us, and not with contractual raises.
I have another observation.
So whether it be 1% or 2%, whatever, they go with that with us.
Seems like,
So it was really my error pulling it from the wrong paper.
corporal is 5% over the highest paid patrolman, and if we had a sergeant, the sergeant would be 5% over the corporal, right?
Right.
Okay,
But then if you had a sergeant two,
it would be the same as
that would be
the sergeant?
above the sergeant.
So we're only saved by the fact we have no sergeant?
Apparently.
Or would we automatically, or should we be
We've
thinking in
this up
terms
for
of
5
10% above?
No, well, you wouldn't want a sergeant and a sergeant two, that's redundant. I mean, well, actually, it wouldn't, because one would be doing IA, but it would be too close. You want that gap between the captain and the sergeant two to be working hand in hand. One operations, one support, and they support each other. And that's
Merely
what
an
that-
observation.
I
Okay.
think we need a corporal captain and a sergeant.
All right. Let me go up there and run the place. All those in favor of the motion?
I have no idea what the motion was.
Repeat the motion.
To correct it to 3358.
That's right, okay.
I vote yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye,
Yes?
okay.
3 yeses, 2 ayes.
So
The yeses have it.
Joyce, you'll make a note of that that was corrected in the minutes? Okay, great. All right. Chief on his way, Luke, do you know? All right. Okay. Body camera policy, does everyone have that?
Is there an updated copy, I don't know, what, a final draft? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah. Do you have that graph there, so I can show the chief what we did?
What are we looking for?
Body camera.
Body, sergeant.
Did you all get a thing like this
I thought we
a
were
couple
done
weeks
with
ago? We didn't officially vote on it.
We made all
I
the
don't
changes.
know if I have
And the other...
a copy of the final draft.
The other, looking at the minutes, we didn't officially vote for the Sergeant 2 position. Remember, we said we'd vote it in 2 different motions? So I'll make a motion, we accept the job description for the Sergeant 2 position.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We've already given him the corrections to make, and he's already given us the corrections back. So it's just a matter of approving.
Are they on the drive, or?
Yes, should be on the drive, John. From Ryan.
You guys have any questions about the cameras? Just because I set up an ad, set up a video, maybe have something.
Have you worked the kinks out yet? Making sure the audio is on, having them aimed right.
It's telling me it's failed to open. Just failed to open?
We're going to suggest that we actually use a real life target that we can use for range time, and that way the officer is going to be able to kind of set his camera up. And
Because
Tell me if you
they're
can
being
open it,
set on
John.
the collar, right, here.
I went to the
I
email.
mean, if they were set on your
Clicked on it, went
glasses,
through
it'd
that
be
way,
wherever you
and
looked.
What date was the
Basically, but
email?
here,
Email
height's
was
going to play a role too, an individual's height.
June 4th.
Kind of interesting.
But the thing is when you keep.
It's in the, if you expand the document, that email, you'll find it.
Oh, and
You can get someone pretty much from the belt up there,
June 4th?
no matter what they are.
interesting.
6'5", 6'8", you know, you're like me. For the most part, I mean, I don't know how much you guys check on the internet as far as see law enforcement shootings and stuff, or any of the incidents that occur, but two just recently came up that were with, I believe, to be taser body cameras. One of which was mounted to the officer's head, the other one, I believe, is a collar mount. And both of them you can see very well, but it shows the importance of having that camera, because one was in an internal of the building where a squatter had gone in. The guy reached for a gun and pulled it on the officer, and the officer engaged the person. The other one was a guy who pulled out a gun on two officers that have companies. And it really, both of those shootings recently just happened. They released the body camera footage, and there wasn't anything happening, so it's constantly rise, investigations, because of the camera. You know, the one that happened, I believe it was Colorado, was a white officer and a black man. And so, without that video, could something have blown up and been an issue? Possibly. We have the camera, but the video exonerated the officer with hours of incident.
Nice.
But, you know, from fielding the cameras, from using them myself, they're very user-friendly. The video, both during the day and night, you know, is very clear. And I think it's a good product, personally.
Does the upload and download work? Is that all set up for you?
I don't believe it's 100% set up because of the fact that we haven't gone full-blown into it, we haven't moved it. Once we do that, what'll happen is we have the docking station already, stuff that's how we
Yeah.
download some of the video. The docking station will get hooked into the system, we'll get evidence.com up and running, and then the supervisors will receive almost like a webinar training over the internet from TASER themselves to show us how to download things, how to review officers' videos, if need be, so if there's a critical incident that people can get sensitive information. And then that training in turn will go to the officers. Then the program will be fully up and running. It's not something that, as of tomorrow, guys are going to learn these things. Because there's still, once we get the full crew, there's a few things we need to do to make sure that we're efficient and dot all our I's and cross our T's.
So, what are we talking about in time to be up and running and everything is good to go?
I don't want, I mean, it could be next week, it could be the week after. I don't want to.
Within a month?
I don't want to give you an answer because it's going to come down to us contacting TASER. They've been really great about everything, so I would assume they'd say, hey, when are you free? How does next Wednesday sound? We can get all the supervisors together and basically like lock ourselves in our office and they're going to play whatever they do. And then they can actually control your screen on your computer. You give them like a temporary type thing, and they can get in and show you with like a mouse, hey, you see this button right here, this is what you click, and you do this and that. So I would say fairly quick.
And then the supervisors would train the officers.
Right. And I would say probably most of that stuff is going to end up being something that the supervisors are going to do mostly of anyways. The guys are really going to
Chief.
unplug it, plug it in, plug it out, and say, hey,
Talking
I
body
had a
cameras.
guy who used the force on tonight. Can you please download the information so that way you have it for the month? So should go fairly well. Smooth transition.
So we're talking, but hopefully by the end of the summer, we should have it up and
Oh,
running.
I would say at the latest, if I was a betting man, I would say no more than
End of July?
2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Talking body cameras.
As far as getting Once it's approved, getting the full
The storage.
evidence.com running, our training for the supervisors from TASER with the webinars, and then getting the officers stored. So I mean, we still have officers that are currently running the cameras that have gone over the temporary policy and understand the ins and outs, just to obtain as much video as we could to make sure that we don't have any of those.
Well, I'm all set to approve it. I don't know about anybody else. I'll make a motion that we approve policy number 246, body-worn cameras, officer audio-video systems.
Second.
Any discussion?
I was just looking through, I didn't see if
They-
the changes. One of the questions I had, did they figure out the pricing on it? I didn't see that on there. If somebody requests files, is it going to be per hour, per file, per?
No, talking to the other agencies that have them, and talking to TASER, the first year is set, but we can meet with them each year and adjust up and down what we need to store.
Well, I meant like if
Is it additional monies if we call in, say, on
I'm
August
asking, the
3rd?
question I'm asking is
It's like a
different.
91A request.
A 91A request,
Right.
somebody comes in and says, I want, discovery, that's right. How are you charging for that?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't yet, but, we'll have to set something.
Yeah, because I heard
I would
nightmares.
assume it may go hand in hand with our DVDs requests. I believe it was $20 when someone wanted to request a copy of our booking room video or a cruiser camera video, any of those things that would have to be burned onto a disc, as well as whenever we have video discovery, if they wanted a copy of that, we used to charge them $20. So I would probably say it would mirror that.
But does evidence.com charge us? Will
Oh,
they
is that-
charge us?
No, let me
I'm
restate
asking.
my question. One of the things I saw that came up with other communities that had the cameras was where somebody did a 91A request for all of the videos, body cam videos that 2 officers did over the past year. That would be a very time consuming, as well as you'd have to edit out any kids or any other things. And if you say it's $20, we just got,
I guess you could, I mean, it would be simple to say $20 per incident if, I mean, we pretty much established, I mean, you could make it $500 per incident if you really want.
yeah, because we'd have to do that so we don't get,
They're not entitled to it, even under 91A.
Well, per incident would make more sense to do it that way. If you have 3 incidents that you had during a day, well, it can really add up that way.
yeah, that seems like a most logical.
I can only assume that if we make a copy, we're doing it, not evidence.com. They're merely the storage site. So we can review videos at any point. We can pull them for our own internal cases. If you have a DWI and you want to get a copy of it for your report. So I would say probably for us, there wouldn't be anything. It's merely for the public that request a copy in reference to their case.
So should the procedure address that amount? You know, how are we going to deal with that? Because,
I think they're gonna have to figure it out.
That's,
I can only make a recommendation, I mean, ultimately it's for the captain and chief,
Yeah.
but we have a form, every time we bring in an arrest, we have a form that we go over that says you're in a building which is audio and visually recorded and/or a cruiser camera, cruiser video may have been generated. We can add to that cruiser camera, booking room / body-worn camera. And because there might be times where if the detectives are doing something, they don't have one on there. So that's why we have that sheet that covers all of them. So we can add TASER to it and keep it at the $20 mark, which I think is fairly standard for
per incident,
all, yeah, right.
but change it to per incident. Go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, our language already says any digital evidence per incident, so
It does?
whether it's CD or thumb
So
drive.
that's the PD's policy on everything, not just body-worn cameras. So that's for
us
any,
to get stuck with the nightmare of
Right.
a
Yeah, oh, yeah.
which is,
huge request that-
which is an excellent question.
I'm all set.
No, sir?
Will the detectives have, what word am I looking for?
Access.
Discretionary use of the body camera,
We talked
as
about it.
opposed to the officer?
Yeah. Well,
Ask that question again? What was it?
Can he turn the camera off because he says so?
No,
Well,
It depends
like I
on what
would
he's
be-
doing.
not according to the policy.
if they're undercover.
interview, I mean,
Well,
There are
there's
certain-
undercover things, I mean.
Right, there's certain criteria in which you can turn it off, but for the most part, if you're in the cruiser, you're stopping a vehicle and so on and so forth, there's,
any motor vehicle
Right.
stuff, we wear it. But other than-
Well, my question was
Domestic
detective-specific.
right.
Yeah, you know, and I know we did spend some time
Talking to a confidential informant, for instance, that,
Informants, we wouldn't put on there, you know, probably any of the interviews we did, we wouldn't put on there.
yeah,
Because a lot of them deal with kids.
Yeah,
yeah.
So none of that stuff would be on there, because that stuff's audio and video recorded anyways, in a room. So there's just certain standards we have to follow with that. But like car stops, you know, I would definitely like to know for all the car stops.
Oh, yeah, well,
all that
I
stuff.
was thinking about more detective-specific stuff.
So we did talk about that for a while.
That's great.
okay. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, we have a body camera policy, so you can institute that, and we can get them as soon as
Yeah, we'll reach
you
out.
teach them, they can start wearing them.
Yeah, we'll reach out to Taser, see if we can, what the next step is now that is official. We can reach out to them, see when they can set up a training type thing, and we'll go from there. And I can always, keep you up, since you're our POC, I can review any questions.
If they come up and if they come up and train them, maybe let us know so we can sit in the background and,
I don't think there'll be any physically here, it'll be mainly
Okay.
the internet.
oh, internet,
Roll call training.
Yeah, so,
okay.
we'll swear away.
So sometime in the fall, we can have popcorn night and watch the funniest ones?
And you know what, and I mentioned those two videos to you folks. Actually, I failed to mention, there was a law enforcement shooting, if you watched the news the other day in Haverhill, New Hampshire. Haverhill, New Hampshire is one of those agencies that's on our list that we had provided you at one point of agencies in New Hampshire. And in the news, they specifically said that the incident was captured on Taser body cameras. So, once again, another thing that will, make an investigation quite easy for both the state and then limit the town's exposure to any type of lawsuits if someone tried to make some.
It's too bad we didn't have them when we assisted in that Belmont one that got written up in the paper. It was a nasty fight.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some
We could
times
use it
where
all the
we
time.
wish we had them. Yeah.
Well, now we do.
Going
So now
forward,
there
yeah.
won't be any question about it. We've got them, we can use them.
Sure,
And
we'll have some
it'll,
growing pains, we'll have some hiccups,
Yeah.
It is one of those things where it's anything new, we get the hands-free law. How many of us, if your phone rings and if you don't have it turned on, are you accidentally going to answer the phone because that's what you've been doing for the last 15 years? Start talking and be like, oh my God, because I'll tell you right now, I know I did it the other day. I got back from vacation, didn't realize it was after July 1st, and I broke the law. It's human nature. So there are going to be times where guys might forget to or something like that, but, generally we try to back up each other as much as we can. So if one guy doesn't, hopefully the other guy's got it going. So it'll just take some time, but I think we'll be,
Those are the departments with the flags.
Roger that.
well, not only will it be safe for our, safer for our offices, but it will also reduce the liability as well to the town, so, and the officer. But the key is safer for our offices. All right, so the other thing that you wanted to talk to us about is filling Gary's position that's left. Generally, it's done in a public session. However, if you're going to be talking about the scheduling and when officers are on and when not, it's safe for safety purposes, that portion of it can be done in non-public, and then we can come out of non-public and we can talk the rest of it in public, if that's what is that okay? Do you have some of that to talk about with,
Any scheduling would be Lou, so
So we'll go into
Let me
non-public?
talk about manpower.
Okay,
And his results would be,
okay.
And some of the background, any background information that's...
And then we'll go into public because general discussion on filling who, whatever, that's a public portion of it. All right, at this time, I'll make a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91A:3 personnel.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Time
Appreciate it.
6:24, I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to public safety permanently.
Second, don't trip.
Thank you.
Part of the non-public session was that we did in fact hire a full-time officer to replace Gary Robinson's place contingent upon the psych eval at $20.50 an hour. Okay.
Could we have the minutes reflect the vote?
The minutes reflect the vote. Thank you. Someone get Dennis?
Catherine, no.
I call the question. We didn't vote.
We don't need to vote. We voted in the non-public. I just let the
Never
public
mind,
know.
never mind, I'm out of control. Use the hammer on me. Thank you.
So,
All right. Next up is, Chief, you've given us your report because we've already eaten into all your time.
that's what it's...
We'll wait for Dennis to come up. We can read over your report.
Is he trying to inflate
mean
his numbers by
trafficking?
giving us 2 weeks?
That's all right, I'll just read them.
Oh, you got the card
Human
today?
trafficking.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that one. But ICAC.
I mentioned that one, that's the one involving us, Hampton PD, ICE, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. We just had a meeting on it last week. So
What's
they-
ICAC?
ICE?
ICAC.
Oh, ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children.
Ah,
Whoa.
That's what's on their plate right now.
Best better get him. Hi, Dennis. Are you bringing that up tonight? Come on up, we're ready.
All right.
Look at that. 2 minutes early.
Early tonight.
Okay, we have RFPs.
Excellent, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Dennis.
What about Birch?
We decided not to do the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, instead of doing the, I get it. Yep, you're right. What do you recommend for a deadline?
If you're going to put the rearing course on this year, I would say October 15th.
Now, what about doing base this year and then surface in the spring, let it, that way you could shim if you get any settlement?
A deadline for the RFPs?
No,
Oh, no.
he's on,
For completion of the job.
Oh,
Start date is September 6th.
I'm looking for a deadline for bids.
Well, we're going to advertise it in paper, correct?
But not the sun.
Probably, yeah, Phil, what, a week in the paper?
Not the Laconia Sun.
A week in the paper?
Yeah,
So that will put us to the...
16th.
16th.
17th, yeah.
I would say that you'd want the bid by bid results.
31st?
Yes, end of the month, yeah,
Well, can we do the 30th and we can open them up at Selectmen's meeting?
sure. Yeah.
You think, Joyce?
30th, yeah.
Make it the 30th and then we can open it at Selectmen's? Okay. And then their completion date would be
October 15th.
October 15th.
Right. If
Well, you have October 16th here.
Right.
So that deadline for bids is the 30th,
Yeah.
July 30th.
And that's really not a bad idea, is to let it set for a year, providing next year you put the wearing course on those two jobs.
In the spring.
Correct, yes. In the spring, and
Can we encumber the funds so that you have the money?
The money is in
Capital reserve.
capital reserve.
Okay, so we've got the money.
we have the money, right?
Okay.
Right, yeah. But you can't neglect
Right,
and put it off for 2 or 3 years to do,
sure.
okay?
If it's completed by, if the completion date is October 16th, we still have time for a wearing course, or no?
No, you do not. No. The state will not let contractors pay for wearing courses generally after October 15th
Okay,
Depends on the
because of the
weather.
weather.
so can we move this up to,
Why? You're better off to put binder down this year. You've got the winter, the frost cycle, so that if you get any settlement, you shim it and then you do the overlay.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hasn't that been our process in the past anyway?
Normally, yes.
okay,
If there's ditch work,
Right.
pipe work or anything like that, yes, that's the way to do it. Because 9 times out of 10, the pipe will settle, and if you put the wearing course on, now you're gonna have a little different...
Forever, yeah.
as long as we put it in the motion that the wearing course is to be put down in the spring, and that way we have it in the motion that we're gonna do it.
Should we notify residents on these roads
We should,
that
yes.
this is it's going to be scheduled?
Yep.
That if they need to do any ditching, they do it now? Typically, don't we wait at least 5 years before we allow it when we do a new road? I know we make exceptions.
If you're looking, Catherine, at culvert pipes or ditching, that will not affect the roadway.
I'm talking about trenching, I should have said. Gas lines.
Gas lines, like we did on,
Trenching.
right.
Yes, yes.
We had a 3-year, I think, wasn't it? Or a 2-year?
We had a 2-year bond.
Yeah,
If they were gonna cut the road that has previously been done
Yeah.
and repaved, they would have to post a bond, 2-year bond for $3,000.
yeah.
Right.
There aren't any underground utilities on those roads, are there?
No, not up there, no, not at all.
So we should be good.
We should
Yeah.
be good, that's correct, yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah. The only thing we would have to do, well, I'll cross it off on the bid specs of, because I had put, wearing course and binder course, and I'll just tell when he comes to get the bid specs where I'm gonna put the wearing course, the binder on this year, and then next year will be another bid on the wearing course. That's all.
You don't... Escalations to iffy to try to get them to hold over a price till the spring?
I don't think they could, Peter.
Okay,
Not with the way the asphalt is.
sure. Okay, that's fine.
Because you know how that fluctuates.
Oh, yeah.
The asphalt liquid.
All right.
Sounds good.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the contract for Westwood and Ridge for reclaim, fine grade, and binder course only for 2015, and a wearing course to be done in spring of 2016.
Deadline.
Would you make that RFP instead of contract?
RFP. fine.
Second.
And you want a deadline? Fall work deadline, October 16th?
The deadline for the bids.
Oh, and the deadline for the bid is July 30th.
We have a motion and seconded by Catherine. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Nice job on the RFP. Very nice job.
Excellent. Anything else for us?
Thank you, guys.
She likes the equipment laid out and all.
I do.
I thought you'd have-
I like the
I
specific.
thought you'd have one question, but I'm not going to say that.
Mr. Allen,
Now she's back, look.
your no trespassing sign at 40 Lakewood had been, it turned up missing overnight last night, I guess. And I was wondering, you talked with Joyce today about the fact it was missing. Is there a new one there?
There are new ones up,
Perfect.
yes.
Thank you very
And the
much.
only one I saw that was missing, there was one on a grade stake
In the driveway area.
in the driveway area, yes. There's plenty up, okay?
Thank you very much.
Look like
Yes, I
anybody's
just-
been through there, or?
No.
Okay, good.
The next door neighbor very accommodating and,
Yeah, both of them are gonna...
Accommodating for who? Yeah. Great.
All right. What else you got?
okay, Fred Wells is scheduled for October 15th for the driving school. The chief is going to enroll him for me. Speed bumps have been ordered July 1st, 3 to 4 weeks delivery. Overnight parking signs will be picked up Monday morning at 8 o'clock. Town hall signs, the same thing. And the speed bump signs are in.
Did the blind person sign get removed on Daniels Drive?
I think it did, Joe, but there's still one sign that says, slow children playing.
I guess there are children
I
up
think the
there.
blind, yes,
Slow
the blind
children.
side is
Oh, well,
gone.
there's no, the lady passed, so, and that's at Public Works,
Yep.
in case we get another use for it. Perfect.
One other thing that I would like to mention to the board is I'd like to purchase an asphalt hand roller.
What is an asphalt hand roller precisely?
Well, they're 15 inches long, they're 360 degrees round, and if you want to do a swale in a road, it will do your swale.
It's a steel cylinder.
Why would you put a swale in a road?
Oh, a lot of times you do. A lot of times you do. Yeah.
Near a ditch or whatever?
To deflect the water.
Really?
How much
thought
do
those were the
those
curve.
cost, then?
Those are $530.
How often will we use this?
Whenever you're paving swales.
We use it all the time.
What do we do now?
We haven't paved a road.
We have my personal hand roller.
I see. Which won't be available very long.
That's right.
Okay, how much, and you've gotten bids for this?
Actually, the only place that I know that deals in them, which they deal in asphalt paving, equipment is C.R. Woods and Hooks It. I know about no other place that deals in asphalt rollers.
Anywhere else, you'd have to have it shipped anyway, right? Which
You would.
Yeah.
You would, yes.
Well, can we buy yours used?
I know I might need it after I'm done.
In case you want to roll some pavement.
That's right, a little patch I want to do or something, correct, yes.
I have no problem with it.
Nor I.
Nope.
Yeah, I make a motion that you purchase a hand
Roller.
And asphalt
hand asphalt
roller.
roller.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
I have no idea. I'm still not sure how often we use it.
Well, when you need it, what are you going to do, Catherine?
Let the records reflect that
Catherine?
Catherine has no idea. Please.
Photo, a question mark?
Yes.
No,
I
she said, I
decline-
have no
I
idea.
decline to vote.
That's not what you said.
I know.
All right, anything else?
That's all I have.
Really? Okay.
I think that's all the board has asked, is signs,
Asphalt, asphalt.
right.
I would like to, I don't speak for the board, but thank you for going down on short notice. July 3rd, after
Oh,
work had
absolutely.
expired,
Yep.
Yeah.
and putting up all those signs and padlocks.
You can speak for the board on that one.
Well, anybody else that wants to ring in, but I know it was last second, and I want you to know that I appreciate it on behalf of the residents and myself.
Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. That's it.
Nothing else.
Anybody have anything else for Dennis?
No.
That's it.
Good.
Wow.
Enjoy your evening.
All right.
All right.
Express, yeah.
See ya.
Moving right along.
All right. We don't need to go over... All right. Oh, I didn't call you yet. Did you send her over here?
I didn't say a word.
Come on. That's just typical of you.
20 minutes
Blame the
early.
chairman.
Betty, Steve and I were wondering,
I was going to have the chief come over and explain the list. No,
We're
I'm
20
just
minutes
kidding.
ahead of schedule.
Just kidding.
Look at that. This is good.
All right. Moving right along.
I still haven't received the Tilton School assessing agreement.
I suggest we call him then.
And the to be signed is a PSNH poll permit. Did anybody have any questions about that?
Nope,
Haven't
I
even
signed
seen
it.
Thank you. We'll start with you, and I'll catch it on the way back.
Last week, the board had approved the police impound yard RFP, and I'm just wondering, is that something, Catherine, that you're going to send out? Do you
Been
want?
sent.
You have sent it? Okay, and has it been put on the town website? I haven't looked.
Probably not. There are not many
There's
outfits
two.
out there, but you can put it on the town website.
And what is the bid deadline?
Chief, do you remember the deadline on the bids? Thank you.
Get it, but 20,
Just so we can keep track. July 24th?
Friday's the 24th.
Why do you make them on a Friday, so then we have to open the bids on a Friday?
It's informal.
Yeah, just that they would have them done by.
Got it, all right.
Those guys won't bid on it if you make it too formal. There's not many out there that'll bid on this type of project.
Got it.
And,
It went out to 12 companies.
and so we'll need the successful bidder, we have to make sure that they have insurance, and submit a W-9. Okay, tax deeding. Cindy was successful in the two parcels, number 3 and number 4. And I should have a copy of right here. She was able to get in touch with both of them. I was only able to reach the park owner for Windy Hill. I know who the president is of that association, but I don't know who, the ones that are on Windsor Drive, is that an association? Do you know, or is that privately owned?
Is that behind Walmart?
No, that's the one that's off of Lancaster Hill. No, Colby. It's off of Colby.
Do we know what the amounts are?
I do.
The other one's just the same, only different name.
And one of them is coming in on Friday. So I
These are the
still,
ones we didn't take?
yes. You'll just have to flip through the informations on those.
So, we have to decide. We're gonna charge them a penalty? No, we haven't taken
We
it.
haven't taken these,
So she's got interest and penalty
that the,
that can accumulates daily.
right.
Yeah, but there's no, did you reach an agreement for so much a week?
Cindy has done that.
So we don't know that.
We don't know that
Then
because
why,
it's still.
the letter should reflect that
But
before
why
we
would
sign
Cindy
it.
make that agreement?
Because they're on her books.
Because we didn't take them.
They're hers. They're not ours, they're hers.
No. We give her a warrant to collect the taxes for us. Okay? So if we're not going to take these, we've always made the arrangement. So why would she suddenly make the arrangement?
Because she feels that they're hers, and the board had asked her to take them to small claims.
And the-
She called them and said, I'm taking you to small claims, and before I go through all that cost and expense, can you come in and pay the 2012s? Because that's what's due.
But that's not what we asked.
You
Right.
asked her to go to take them to
Small
small
claims.
claims.
We didn't ask to call and make arrangements.
But just for what's due. You can only take them for what's due,
Yeah,
because we haven't gone to tax deeding with the other ones yet.
But I'm not willing to let those ride out months.
for
But
6
she says
months.
right in there, if they don't pay right away.
6 months.
6 months.
And there's no, well, if you look at, this one's, R7,
Excuse me, it was part of the minutes from last week. A motion to ask the town clerk to take number 3 and 4 properties to small claims court. Selectman Dawson suggested looking at other options, maybe contacting the park owners prior to going to court. Joyce will do.
Which I did.
yeah, but that doesn't, that's not given the right to, for the town clerk to make
the
payment,
tax collector.
the tax collector, I'm sorry, tax collector to make payment arrangements. That's our purview.
She could talk
It's
to them and try to work
total-
them up, but we would have to sign this, right?
Do,
Right, our agreement. This-
I can tell you
She
right
she
now,
could
I won't
discuss
sign
something,
it.
but we would have to approve it and sign
You
it,
would need to
right?
talk with her, because I think she would disagree with you, because she's the tax collector. It's up to her to collect the money.
I wanna
She's
take the
responsible for
property,
collecting
so,
money.
if we take the property, it's not up to her though, right?
That's correct. So if you don't take it,
We're not giving, no, that's
by
wrong.
not taking it,
No,
it's still up to
still
her,
wrong.
because she still has the
Okay, then
warrant.
why are we changing the game midstream? That isn't what happened last year, the year
Nope.
before, the year before.
Nope.
We made the deals with these people
That's
instead of
correct.
taking their properties, because that's what it is.
That's
Right, but you
correct.
Instead of taking your property, we're willing to make this deal with you. She doesn't have that ability.
We took the
So-
properties and made the deal.
You know, we've done that with other people.
No,
I
no,
don't
we've
recall
taken,
that.
yeah, but we've taken properties,
I'm not talking about
made the deal.
people's,
And then made the
I'm not
deal.
talking about properties we've taken. I'm talking about properties we have not taken, where we've said, if you don't pay, we will take your property.
No, we
I don't
haven't done
recall
that.
any of those
We haven't
myself.
done that.
We just did that with, up the road,
We've
White
done
Rock?
that.
Wasn't that the way that?
We've done that. Yeah,
Oh,
we've
that's
done
right,
that.
we had deed.
No,
We
you
did
took
take
the
deed on
deed.
that.
You
Yeah.
We took the deed.
We have
Right.
done that. Maybe
We've-
it's been here longer.
Then I suggest that we make a motion that we deed it, and then we make the arrangements for them to pay it off. And we make the arrangements for them to pay it off, all of it, not just 2012, because 2013, they're right back in the same thing.
Why don't we-
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion. I
Why-
wasn't making it as a motion, but we can do it as a motion.
Why don't?
And I'll make
why-
the motion, she can second it. I wanted to take them to start with.
I don't
may
think this,
recall.
all right, Catherine Talk.
Why don't we find out what payment arrangement she has made with them before we make that decision?
It really,
They may,
Friday, she said.
pardon?
She said they're coming in on,
however, though,
They may be
Catherine-
paying it in 2 payments.
it's only 2012. I have a problem with that. Because 2013 is going to be the same thing, 2014 is going to be the same thing. When we
Haven't
took them,
paid 215 yet.
then take the deed.
when we took them, the deed on, two trailers that I know of, that one gentleman sat here, and it was 3 years that he paid, we made payment arrangements for a year, all 3 years were paid up, and now, we haven't seen him, and he's doing very well, and he,
Took the deed.
because we took the deed, and then we gave them the deed back when it was all paid up. Are you willing to just go along with just taking it not taking it and getting just 2012 paid?
Well, quite frankly, that's all they would have had to have paid if they'd come in here last Wednesday. That's all they would have had to have paid to stop
Yeah,
it.
but we're beyond last Wednesday.
I'm not here to crucify these taxpayers.
Right, but
I'm here to get the
in defense of
taxes.
Cindy,
Each of them
legally-
have different stories, you know?
defense of Cindy, legally, the selectmen give her a warrant, you gave her a warrant back in 2012 and said, collect this amount of money for this parcel.
Right.
She sent bills out, and if she doesn't collect the money, then she liens, legally, she liens. She does what she's supposed to do. Then, when they haven't paid, then she makes up a deed to give the selectmen. The selectmen, which legally she has to do. Legally, the selectmen have a statute that says, we don't have to take it. It goes back to her, it falls back in her court. The board said last week, ask the tax collector to take them to small claims, which I did. And in the meantime, I contacted.
But she's not taking them to small claims.
But
she's making a deal.
She's making a deal to have them pay. Now, so legally, that's her to do. If the
Didn't we
selectmen-
direct
Can
her
I finish,
something
please?
else? Okay.
In the past, before the selectmen have taken a deed, and I know Pat has done this, where you have gone and spoken to people and said, this is before, remember, she gives you the list. And you go and talk to the people and say, you better get in here and talk, because this tax collector's going to give us a deed. And those people have come in prior to deeding because you guys spoke to them. And you came, and you did work some of those deals.
Thank you.
One of these
But-
person didn't even open the door. I knew was home.
Oh, okay, but she has spoken to both of them. And I also know that over the years, Cindy, as a tax collector, because it's her job to get that money, so she'll do whatever she can to get the money. So she has worked out on her own payment arrangements with people to get them paid in time. Also, legally, she only, right now, has to get the 2012. If they don't pay the 2012, she's saying to them, then if you don't pay whatever she's worked out, because she has spoken to them, then I am going to go through the cost and the expense of taking to small claims, and we're going to ask for all of it. I believe that's what's in her letter, right? So she feels that she's doing what she's supposed to do. She's heard the board and said, small claims. She says, okay, but before I'm taking the small claims, I'm going to try and get them to pay.
I think we're better off getting all of it, which is what I expected with the small claims, to get all of it so that they're up to date. I know for a fact that this person here on, Gusty Road, I know for a fact we've been 4 years, every single year.
Date on 2011's, both of them did. But getting back to what John said, the motion was that the board to ask the tax collector to take them to small claims. And look at other options.
And at the same time, but before, I think, how was that written in the minutes? I think we told her to take her to court, and Catherine said something about talking to the association first and seeing what we could do. But I-
The park owners prior to going to court.
Small claims court takes such a long time, which is why I suggested something different. So she's done
Did
this.
something
Yeah.
different.
So we should be tabling, she should have brought it before us, or maybe, perhaps we should table this till next Thursday
She's
and
meeting
vote
with
on...
these people Friday.
There's no tabling, John. She's gone ahead and done it. This is a done deal. She doesn't want our signature. This is a done deal with, according to Cindy, this is a done deal with her. She's going to make payment arrangements for this, for the 2012. We're going to be right back into the same thick
Well-
of things back because my opinion, she didn't understand what we really wanted. We're going to be back next year, the same thing.
There is a motion on the floor, correct?
Yes, you're correct. I feel really strongly that we wanted to go after all 3 years so that we could get it cleaned up, and that's what small claims court would have been.
But it would take, you probably wouldn't get to small claims until spring.
So now we're gonna go this route, and next year, we're back into the 3 years again.
Well, just for me, I just think without hearing these people's stories, you know, if something happened to them, as calamitous that they couldn't pay their taxes, I mean,
They never responded to the notices.
I think,
Wouldn't open the door.
you know, the law allows this. The interest is just going to pile, and penalties is going to pile up on the residual. So it's to their own detriment to not get it paid. It doesn't cost us anything to go this route.
And if they don't pay us on Friday, next Thursday, I'll vote to deed it.
No, on one of them, didn't she give the person 6 months?
And both of them, it's, I believe it's the same on both, right? Not
6
to
months
exceed
to
6
pay.
months.
$294.
They're both exactly the same letter.
See,
It's kind of a long time.
So they're both coming in on Friday?
That's what she said.
I can't see going out 6 months.
If they
I
don't,
could see
then she'll
10
file
days.
for small claims and go for all 3 years.
I think we should find out what deal she makes with them tomorrow and readdress it next Thursday. Next Thursday, if we don't like the deal she's made, we can take it.
Unless they've actually made a tax payment.
Unless they what?
If they make a payment on Friday,
If they pay their 2012 in full, then no, then you can't.
Then we don't
deed it.
have anything to,
Then you can deed it next year.
right. Then we'll
Can
be in the
count
same
on it.
boat.
No, next year, take the tax deed.
Except somebody said that one of these is not one that we'd want to take.
No, it's not.
One of them isn't, right?
One of them is.
So it kind of makes it redundant.
But that's, the other one last year wasn't either, but the gentleman came in and we made arrangements and he got it back, we deeded it back to him.
And
It was-
he had,
Medical issues, remember?
yeah, he had some exceptional things
Right.
happen to him.
And he came in and went ahead and did it. All right, I'll table my motion until next week. All right?
no.
No? You want to vote on it?
I call the question. I've still got the second here, right?
Yeah.
If you guys don't want to vote that way, good enough. I love democracy, but I want to vote.
All right, we won't table it. All those in favor
Aye,
of taking it by deed?
aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
There you go.
All right, next.
So that was 1 to
3 to 2.
3 to 2.
So next
Two-
week,
2 to 3.
we're going to address it again
2 to
next
3,
week,
that's correct, 2 to 3.
once we figure out how much it is and everything.
How much?
Can we get some colored photos of these mobile homes? Not what's on the tax card.
Black and white isn't good enough?
No. They don't show enough damage.
I'll go out this weekend and get them.
Try Google Earth or whatever Bing has.
No, that's not good.
One of them
If you look at
is okay.
Price difference?
Oh, this is much, much better.
I know, but this is
This one
frightening.
it's a shack. It's really bad. I didn't think anyone was living in it. Really. There's more cats around it than there is wood.
Windsor? The Windsor one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the other one wasn't bad. And also, the president of the co-op said that they are usually late in paying their lot rent, but they always pay it.
Good. Well, could be extenuating circumstances, but let's,
And I just need at the end, just a really brief attorney-client.
okay, we have a non-public at the end anyway.
Okay, and then also on a personnel matter, a brief one.
Yep.
Okay. On the other properties, the only one I've received back yet is the Noise Road from Citizens Bank. And I called and I have the name of a person to speak to, and we've been playing telephone tag right up until 4:30 today. So I have nothing to report on that. And also, someone...
They're going to make arrangements to,
I don't know, I just called and said I
We
need
don't
to
know,
speak to
okay.
someone that's, because we've got this property, and you're listed as a lien holder, I need someone to speak to me. And we've
Okay.
been playing telephone tag.
So are we making assumptions that, I mean, we took 3 properties, right?
Correct.
And we had one person come in on the Lakewood. The other 2, we've heard from no one?
This person that I'm playing telephone tag
Right.
with the bank for Noise Road, and the other one of the High Street one, I haven't received the card back from yet. The only one I got, this is the one I got.
But we've deeded them.
Yes.
Should we be talking about making arrangements to sell them so the clock starts ticking?
yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
But could we just wait and give them a little more time to respond to the notices?
Not on the High Street one. There's nobody to respond.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and send that
It just
letter?
doesn't make any, the Noise Road one, well, you know, they've had a year to respond to Cindy's letters and all her...
Yeah. On that one, on the Noise Road one, I want Lauren to look at that the next time she comes, because that is a tear down. You should see the mold in there. It's all mold.
You don't have to tear down just because of mold.
Well, and there's no
She's
foundation
assessed
to it.
It's a camp.
90% of them down there don't have
It's a camp.
foundations. It's a camp.
There's an assessment already on that building, right? I'm assuming.
Beach. There must be beach rights.
There is, there are beach rights, and I'm just saying that we couldn't have anybody live in there, they'd have to fix it up.
No,
It's
I
bad.
understand that.
It's really bad,
But
but that's
the
all
property
lot.
is assessed.
It's a nice lot, very nice lot.
Nice
They have
After
a-
what I've seen today,
well-
there isn't.
Looks like the neighbor's mowing the lawn, but...
What up there?
Wait a minute.
So we can go ahead and do
Hold
that.
on one second here. Is this, now I know the name. I was looking at the signature,
Yeah,
and we know that signature from somewhere. Wasn't he on that, Levasseur, wasn't that?
oh, that's on Pearl Lane, no, he worked at a college.
Okay.
I have, and according to the deed research, I have 2 Citizens Bank addresses. The Manchester one responded. And also, I spoke to Greg Hill, and he said he was going to stop in and, Greg Peverly. So do you want him to come in and meet with the board, or just have him send you
Go
a
up and look at
proposal?
it.
Well, you wanted some time to deal with them, right? Noise Road? Didn't you just ask for
Oh, and
time
the
for
other-
them to respond?
Yeah,
You
and
want to put
also,
these up on the block now?
Yes,
and also,
you know I'm going to vote on
someone
it.
had told me that
I'm consistent.
one of the names, they thought that he worked at a certain place, so I called that place, and they said no, that he didn't work there.
I think we've gone above and beyond. Let's put them up.
Okay.
My opinion, I make a motion, we put them up.
Second,
Yep, we can.
start the clock. You want to come in
Any
and
discussion?
pay it all off?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? declined to vote. I have no idea.
I'm still thinking
Can I
about
have that green one back?
Town Beach.
For what? For noise?
And then the
Yeah, I
last
guess we
one
can investigate it.
on Lakewood.
Beach isn't that great.
Yeah.
I used to swim down there all the time.
Yeah, I looked at it, it didn't look that great to me. A
All
lot
the
of
time.
weeds in the water.
It's right next to, by you. Noise. Just above you.
Get rid of the weeds, it just takes a
Yeah.
little work.
It's nothing.
And
what is
beach
it? What
rights
is it?
means it's a shared beach, so.
You ought to see where
So
my
everything
beach
that
is.
she's told us is nil.
About what? You have new and interesting.
Very interesting, Joe.
And this, I mean, I know we already know all the answers to these questions, but just to cover ourselves, I sent a query to New Hampshire Municipal Association Legal Services, again,
Let
just
them talk.
confirming that if we take places that are occupied, we have to follow RSA 540.
Thank you, Joyce.
It's not owner occupied.
Well,
There's stuff's
Do
inside.
these other ones, 3 and 4.
Oh,
she's talking about the mobile homes.
Yep.
not the other one. The other one, that's not owner occupied.
No,
Well,
yeah, I
it
thought we
kinda
were talking
sort of
about
is.
Lakewood.
I have one for you.
Not by any stretch, it's a camp.
Because I remember we came up with this before, because since we didn't have a lease with that person, can we go ahead and, do we still have to follow the statute to evict them? And so they just confirmed that we do. And we have done that in the past. We have 2 new people on the board that haven't had the experience of doing this. So, what do you want to do about that meeting for next week?
Which meeting specifically?
The one that we just read the letter is.
I'm the attorney that almost burned his house down on the hill.
Outstanding. Oh, is that the guy?
Yeah,
Letter
when he
from
put his hot ashes on the porch.
Oh, we haven't gotten a letter yet?
Michael Drive, the attorney.
Oh, I haven't seen an attorney's letter from Lakewood?
It's
Yeah.
coming. Peter's got it.
No,
Oh, it went that way?
you didn't see me get my exercise?
No, I missed that.
I pace
part.
back and forth.
I see.
Well,
Put him on.
the 16th, I suppose we could, later in the evening in a non-public, because that's the way it's going to be, but not in the beginning. That cuts everything off. How suddenly we're selling the house, we got a purchase and sales, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, by the way, here, meet my attorney.
Oh, well.
It's
Joe,
another
I'm beginning
ploy.
to hate
Where's
this.
the letter?
I hate lawyers.
What?
Where's the
What?
letter?
Right there, Joe.
Oh, I didn't pass it now.
Come on,
Not
John, get with the
Sharon.
program.
No, John,
I figured you'd seen those before.
I suggest we talk to him for at least an hour and a half. He gets paid by the second. Not by us.
No, I'm getting to hate him more and more.
Will it really take
Passing
half hour to 45 minutes?
Probate was
Oh, yeah.
Be done
No,
in 3
Yep.
minutes?
yesterday.
Nope.
Oh. Can we get a timer?
It's for lawyers, but don't
Nope.
like
Well,
them a
this,
bit.
yeah, I found out this.
We'll talk about this in non-public.
You know,
Okay.
We have no
It's
say in
legal.
our mind.
All
We're
right.
going to talk about this in non-public.
Okay.
Okay.
Status report on Ernie's. Chuck and Kathy came in yesterday. We sat down, we called Glenn Smith on speakerphone and told him that, we're getting kind of anxious here, what's going on. So he contacted Jim Bouchard, because he is the consultant that's been hired by Northfield to do this. The holdup is still with New Hampshire DOT, and we said, let him know that if there's anything that we can do to help move this thing along, because we're really getting antsy, and he said that he would contact Tom Jameson and try and have Tom Jameson, since they're in the same department, because Tom Jameson is just as anxious to get this thing going as we are.
Don't we have a deadline because of monies that we have to finish ours, or is that just the...
We're all set because we've finished our Ernie's.
The Ernie's property, so it's
Well,
Right, we
the
have
trail
No,
part...
we haven't finished it. The landscaping isn't completed,
Right, but I mean, we have contracts.
and the parking lot's not done.
Right, but we have, as far as the EPA grant is, we've committed all of our funds.
So we're safe with the EPA
Safe
grant.
with EPA, and then any of the extra things are being paid by the CRDC grant.
Okay.
And the same with the Phase 2A grant, their money's safe because they have contracts. They've awarded a contract before June 30th.
So they're going to drag it on until it's wintertime and they can't do the work?
We hope not, because the contractor is anxious to get going, too. It's with DOT.
Why is
Bureau
DOT
of
drag?
Rails.
Bureau of Rails, okay.
Does our money
So-
that we have floating out there include the fence?
Yes.
Okay.
Part of it is Ernie's money,
Yeah.
and part of it is Concom money.
Did they find the missing document? Then why aren't we signing a new one and sending it down there if that's the holdup?
Well, must be other things, not just that. Because remember, they have to...
But that seemed to be
do the
in that
prosecution
conversation.
work.
Right, but that seemed to be the most significant. They have to have that original document. And if they've lost it, we haven't signed a new one to create an original.
We can do that.
I would think that that might help expedite.
Okay.
Maybe it'll send them a message not to
Yeah,
lose
well,
things.
I can print a new one if the board wants to sign it before you leave tonight, or we can do it tomorrow, and then I can shoot it over to Northfield. They could sign it on Tuesday.
What do you think? Do you think it makes
We're going to
sense to
have to
do
run
that?
and do a new one eventually anyway, aren't we?
Well, unless they find it, but what do you think? Do you
Well-
think that makes sense?
It wouldn't hurt, because it certainly would not hurt.
I'd like to be a
I'll
step
sign it.
ahead of that,
Print it up, because I'm heading back to
so we
Maine.
don't have any delay if,
And the
Things
board
start.
already signed the shoreline protection, not shore, yeah, shoreline wetlands permit, and they've picked those up and taken them over.
yeah, we should sign another one.
Did you hear Peter?
Backup.
It's best to print it tonight.
Yeah, Peter's going
If
to
you want
Maine.
my signature.
You have to visit them in
Of
May.
course we do.
Somewhere, okay.
Yeah, back to Maine.
Crosswalk maintenance agreement forms.
Well, this is also to get it on the market. It'll go quick.
I believe
so.
I sent you Bill Lambert's.
Definition.
That was very interesting.
Well, it really doesn't make any sense to me.
No, but that's how they,
It's the state of
that's how they're
confusion.
defining it, and it's interesting. It makes 90% of our crosswalks mid-block. In fact, it makes all but one.
The one at the lights,
I
right?
was,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Now
what I
I'm
got out
tripping.
of it.
yeah.
almost
Because
got
this
Joe.
one starts over here,
Almost.
not at the intersection. So it's only the one in Park Street.
Right.
Everything else is mid-block. Everything else.
Well, the only one the board hasn't signed is the Deer Street one, so I've held off sending in these other two, and the poor woman in that office emails me every week and says, where's the crosswalk agreement?
Well, you eliminated that language, right?
It's crossed out. You can see. Oh, I don't remember. There's one on the back of that. Oh, remember.
Thank you. Take two, call me in the morning.
You'll be in Maine.
On my way, at least.
Yeah. I thought there was a third one.
One's on the back of another one.
Hey, what's a class 11? It says class 11.
It does. Took me a second to figure that out, but I got it.
What? Oh. Oh, do you want me to get out my file? Because the Board of Selectmen didn't have this authority for Autumn Drive.
How so?
Because there was an act from the legislature that specifically said, and there were a number of roads, Autumn Drive was one of them, that the legislative body would have to vote to accept that road as a town road. And that was not done. Do you want my file? I haven't looked at it in years, I'm excited. I gotta get my file.
I think that law was passed, Kevin, after this law was passed. This law was passed May 30th of 2000.
Nope, it was before me. It was PK.
There's a paper here with Heber Feener's name on it that says the town will be responsible for maintaining the road.
But he didn't have authority, according to Catherine.
I think we are no, we're the governing body.
I think it was in response to Tilton's,
So did we take it over?
that the legislature subsequently passed a law saying it would need a town meeting vote.
But that was subsequently, right?
No, this was before the year 2000.
When did we vote to require a town meeting vote?
We didn't require it.
The state did.
The state of New Hampshire required it.
Because this law says that Autumn Drive in the town of Tilton is now a town Class 5 highway.
And they'll go to the dust thing.
It's changing from a Class 2 to a Class 5, and it was effective May 30th of 2000. I give you a copy.
Yep. 1999, 96. So in 2000,
And they said on August 8th, 1996, the Tilton Board of Selectmen discussed with the Department of Transportation that they would accept responsibility of classification of road from Class 2 to Class 5. The town will be responsible for maintaining the road. And
Class
then there was a
11.
House bill that was effective May 30th of 2000, which reclassified it.
How come it's Class 11? That's not Class 2, that's Class
Well,
11.
that was whoever typed it for the town made it an 11 instead of Roman numeral.
Well, it's gonna take me a while to find it. The legislature voted before the selectmen voted to accept the road.
not unless you can, yeah,
It was more than just Autumn Drive and Tilton.
Right, there was Northfield and Waterville
Those specific
Valley.
roads would have to be voted on by the municipality's legislative body to accept them as town roads.
Right.
So in the town of Tilton, I can't speak for the other towns, in the town of Tilton, that vote never took place at that town meeting, whatever year it was.
Section 1, here we go. It says here, Section 1,
Well,
here you go. Catherine, you're right. Applicability. Section 1 of this act, Section 1, reclassifications, which include Summer Street, Autumn Drive, and New Hampshire Route 49 in Waterville, shall take effect 60 days after its passage, after completion of the reconstruction to be performed by the Department of Transportation, whichever is later, provided, however, that no reclassification provided for in Section 1 of this Act shall be effective until such time as the local legislative body of the corresponding municipality has voted to accept responsibility for the additional costs incurred by the reclassification of the road consistent with Part 1, Article 28A of the New Hampshire Constitution. The corresponding municipality is hereby authorized to hold a special meeting without prior judicial authorization for the purposes of this section. So did you guys have a special town meeting?
No.
Doesn't have to be special. as long as
There
it
was no
done.
town meeting taken. I have a document from Gail
So-
Twombly at the time.
So
Originally
it
did
never
this, I
went
wasn't even a
forward to the
selectman.
town meeting?
No, there was never a vote of the legislative body.
What year was
But did
the,
it ever go forward to the legislative body?
No.
Then why not, if Heber said that the Board of Selectmen did in 1996?
They didn't.
He can't act at,
Here's
act as one.
1996,
Yeah,
town meeting, and it's not there. And somewhere in this stuff, my God, I haven't looked, I'm so excited, I haven't looked at this in years. This was my first thing. Somewhere there's a statement from the then town clerk at the time.
Over the years, has the town ever sent any of this information to DOT?
I made a visit.
But there's been nothing formal.
No one ever wanted to go forward with it. I've brought it up before. These are Board of Selectmen's minutes.
Oh, so do you have the Selectmen's minutes from August 8th, 1996?
I have them from February 22nd, 1996, April 4th, 1996, April 11th, 1996. And I have them from August 8th, 1996.
But should we send this all to them because there's a...
I have them January 2nd, 1997. January 6th, 1997.
I think that they got to prove to us that this is not, that this is our road. It's not. They just sent you this.
Their feeling was, when I talked to them about it, their feeling was that because the Board of Selectmen agreed, here's the municipal budget for 1995, that it was a done deal.
Not according to their own rules.
It's not their rules, it was the legislative rules.
Well, the government, the legislature.
Yeah.
So what would the board like to do?
I say go forward and tell them it's not ours.
So do they get to patch the pothole now?
This is a letter from, do you have a copy of this? October 12th, 2000, from Ken Kyle, who was the district engineer at the time.
I don't have a copy of anything. All I have is this.
I'm writing to confirm with you the passage of House Bill 1165, which included reclassification of Monmouth Drive to a Class 5 highway. Effective date, blah, 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 became credit. As you will note, and we have discussed, the legislation requires that the local legislative body of the corresponding municipality has voted to accept responsibility for additional costs incurred. It is my understanding that we share the opinion that when the town voted in 1997 to fund the state aid project, that vote was with knowledge and understanding that the road would be reclassified upon completion of construction, and that the requirements of House Bill 1165 have been met. That's their opinion. I knew it was in here someplace, but that's not what took place.
Yeah, but that's the official record.
No, this is just my record.
so what did they vote on in 97? Do we have the specifics of what vote?
We can get the details of what was said and done at that meeting in 1996.
Yeah, but it was just a selectmen's meeting. Well, this says...
No, it has to be voted on by the legislative body.
And apparently
Oh, when they voted the appropriation?
Right.
in 97,
97, yeah.
according to
See,
the...
the argument is that the bill was, I don't remember when the bill came out. I think it was after that vote. It's been too long
Yeah, the
since I've
bill
looked
was
at
in the
this. Here's town
2000
meeting.
session.
That required the legislative body to vote. Because it was after.
Right. You'd have to go back to the governing body again.
In 97,
Well,
right?
we-
No, and
Some of them don't
after this
exist.
bill, because this bill says,
Right, but they're saying that because the town participated in the state aid project prior to this bill,
but this bill now came after, and I would just say now supersedes it, and you go by what it says here, and until town meeting approves it, we haven't taken ownership.
But they're
Here's
saying,
the House
that-
bill. Here's a copy of the House bill.
they're saying that
It's at Article
that
28.
FEMA,
197:2.
it signed a document that said, we will take it over.
But he didn't have authority.
well,
No
he signed this-
reclassification provided for in Section 1 of this act shall be effective until such time as the local legislative body of the corresponding municipality has voted to accept responsibility for the additional costs incurred by the reclassification of the road. That vote never took place. They only voted that, yes, we can take part in a repair. They never discussed cost that they would incur reclassifying the road. That was never discussed. That's my argument, anyway.
We need an effing lawyer.
Does it have to be effing?
Meanwhile, there's a really mean pothole that needs to be fixed.
It's got a cone next to it.
If we fix it, then we've accepted the cost of maintenance, haven't we? Seems like we need a lawyer, I'm
I got an
telling you.
invoice for the cost. I got copies of the check.
We could build a state.
No,
It says consistent with Part 1 of Article 28A, which is that of the New Hampshire Constitution.
Yeah, but Heber's letter is before the law.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So that supersedes the law, because it doesn't matter whether you voted or not. You have a letter from the chairman of the Board of Selectmen that said, I will take over, the town of Tilton will be responsible for maintaining the road.
but the legislature reclassified it later on, and as part of the condition of reclassification,
This bill reclassifies certain roads in the towns of Northfield, Tilton, and Waterville Valley. This bill reclassifies, an act reclassifying certain roads in the towns of Northfield, Tilton, and Waterville Valley.
so why would,
As long as the legislative body approves. So we need to find out what happened in 97, I think.
no, because it has to be after this bill was passed.
Why? Because the vote was taken prior to the bill, apparently.
At any rate, that's my argument.
Look at the date stamp on the front.
You going to Lakewood with me after the meeting?
The date of the letter is 2000.
Sure. Did they have a resolution?
No, they pulled pump one, but I think they've got it on pump one first, so it keeps...
Was there a February 29th in 1999?
It was a leap year.
It was a leap year?
But the date stamps before the...
All right, so what...
I mean, the fact is, we can argue this, but I wouldn't leave the pothole open. The state is not going to fix the pothole. I haven't seen it. If it's large enough to cause people to go off the road, we should repair it.
Well, they won't go off the road, it's on the
It's on the...
edge of the road, but if you've got another car coming, you're gonna have to hit
It's going
it.
to pull you.
Yeah, and it is big.
We should fix it. And argue
Okay.
this
We
later.
gotta wait till
All
they
right.
get a ton's worth of patching to do.
All right. Moving on. We've got Autumn Drive.
So,
We're gonna patch the road,
so I
Let's
can
move
tell
on.
Highway to do that, to patch it? Okay.
please.
And also, I just wanted to make the
Can we
board aware.
backcharge DOT?
Just to confirm that the paving project that begins Sunday night extends from the Franklin-Tilton Town Line to Park and Prospect Street intersection. Okay?
Well, isn't it through the intersection?
It says this summer's project ends at the Park Prospect Street intersection.
Yeah, but which side of it? Because I believe our
They've asked
sewer
us to raise
manhole
the manhole.
is impacted, which is on this side of the intersection, and they're going to be raising it for us.
He wanted it to go up an inch. He spoke to me.
All right, the rail
Gave it to
crossing
Johanna.
at Cumberland Farms and the section of Main Street between the two railroad crossings is scheduled to be paved next summer. And Chuck Flanders is the contract administrator for this summer project, so if we have any questions, I have Chuck's number, we can call him.
Well, they better hurry up and fix their drainage system.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is so we should maybe make this something to pay attention to this summer on
They
the
still think
drainage.
that's our drains, don't they, Catherine?
Of course they do.
Aren't they only going to pave the travel lanes?
But here's the interesting thing, for years, we've asked to hook into that drainage system, remember Joyce? Mm-hmm. And they have said, no, we could not. We couldn't hook our drainage out back into this one. We can't hook our drainage between us and the inn into it.
Well, if they were ours, we certainly could, huh?
That's right.
So I guess we've decided whose they belong to.
Well, they decided.
Yes.
This is an abatement that was untimely filed. Lauren did go ahead and look at it, and she is denying it. There are still two more that the board has already denied it, and she's done follow-up letters to both of them. One is Coles, and I can't tell you what the other one, Ben Sanuti, I think is the other one. And so what she suggested, she wrote up a recommendation, is I just have to write a letter to those people saying the board had already denied this. Lauren has looked at all your subsequent information that you've submitted. She's still recommending denial. Your next course of action, and I'll include a copy of the BTLA appeal form. So that's, she can't just keep denying. They have to exercise their right to go to the BTLA. So I still have those for you. And I think that's, and then I took my printer's out of ink, so I couldn't do these in color, but I think you'll be able to tell. I just typed in wherever Tim's comments were. I said, this is Tim's comment, because you can't see the phone.
Thank you.
And the ones that I had questions are in the lighter print, and I had just made question marks.
Oh, mine's sitting beside my bed.
The most important is how often do you want refuse to be picked up?
Once a week.
Right now, they do Tuesdays and Thursdays every week for refuse, and they do recyclables Tuesday and Thursday every other week. What Tim is suggesting is that we do one day, they do the entire town for solid waste pickup one week, and then they do every week, and then one day, the entire town for recycling.
Every other week.
Every other week. So you're reducing.
That's not what it says. Tim
Refuse-
suggests one day for solid waste pickup per week and one day for recycling per week.
Right.
So we're picking up for recycling every week, and we're picking up for
So it should be
solid waste
per-
every week.
Where do you see that?
Should be
'Cause it's got
bi-weekly.
bi-weekly on the front page. Oh,
It's right there.
oh, that's what Tim suggests.
So that means people are,
And then it says every other week. This is a question.
yeah, the ones that are liars, the ones I had. What does the board want for pickup options? Every week for both?
No.
The
No.
entire town in one day or 2 days?
I think recycling is suited, I think it's best suited every other week, just like I haven't
Yeah.
heard no complaints
The odd and the end one, but people seem to be doing well with it. And if you fill up your giant can, they'll take any container you put out there, because
Yeah.
periodically I'll put out various containers. As long as it's obviously single stream, they take it.
So they won't take the container unless you put a note on it saying, this is broken.
Well, one of the things that Best Way was proposing to the town was
They
that
won't
it would be
take- oh.
They
it would
won't
be
take it
cheaper
unless
for
you tell
them
to take it.
if they did the solid waste, that they do the whole town for solid waste the same day each
Yeah.
week, instead of breaking
That's
it up
fine.
Tuesday and
I'm
Thursday.
okay with that.
Okay.
I
And
think
then,
that's where,
Even better? Yeah.
and then every other week, do recycling. So not per week, every other week.
Yep.
yeah.
I think people could, the biggest change would be if they pick Tuesday or Thursday to do
One
that
side
day.
of town will have to change.
Yep.
Either way, I'll change.
Okay.
Tuesday, no. Earlier in the
And
week's
that they
better.
have the
You have a
response
weekend
deadline
party, you want it hanging around.
be October 15th.
That's true. Peter has a real valid suggestion,
Yes.
that an early pickup would be better than a later in the week pickup, because 4th of July, just as a for instance, there might be lots of stuff.
Get a-
Tuesday.
I'm thinking that Tuesday would be better for
Fourth of
that.
July could land on any day of the week.
But when are most of your holidays?
Labor
Monday.
Days and...
Mondays, and then you have your parties on the weekend, so do you want your
Oh, I like
garbage?
Tuesday for just that reason.
Huh?
Just rid of all my
Yeah, well,
weekend
that's what
garbage,
Peter
so.
had pointed out, and that might be a better thing, I think.
I've lived with Thursday pickups forever. You guys have
Yeah.
Tuesday pickups.
Yeah.
I have a party on the weekend, I
And
have
it
to wait.
festers for almost a week.
Yeah, but
And it's
you
fine.
can
I
take
mean,
it
I
to the
have no
town
problem
garage
with
on
it.
Wednesday if you want.
I could deal with whatever, but
I'm fine.
I'm easy, I'm either
So are
way.
you going to take it for me if I'm working?
I
For
would do
those of
that
us that
for
have jobs?
yeah, I will, Peter, hold your breath.
Okay, now, when bidders will have questions, so in the past, it was the Public Works Director, or if they came to me, it's just so, because somebody has to keep track of the questions, so that everybody gets the same answer.
I suggest they go to you because they have to get the same answer. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah,
I
and you in
agree.
turn come to us.
We may get different answers down there. There may be, one answers the phone one time, another answers the phone, oh yeah.
Depends on when this goes out. There should only be one guy
I
answering
found the one
the phone by
that
that
I was
time.
thinking about the other night on page 3, number 4. Include a proposed revenue sharing plan with the town. That's for the recyclables, is it not?
Yes.
Because right now, we don't get any benefit from our recyclables.
I'm sorry, I don't see that. Which one?
Number 4.
Page 3.
Interesting side note, there's no money in recyclables, and sometimes it costs some money, depending on the
Oh,
load, to
yeah,
take
okay.
and get rid of it.
Exactly, yeah.
And sometimes you do make money.
Now, early on in the contract we did, but the market for recyclables has fallen through the ground. Just a
Because
current,
is making money on recyclables.
who?
He's saying he isn't.
Oh, right, yeah,
So Tim's suggestion was that we shouldn't share revenue, nor any costs associated with the recycling tonnage once it's collected. That we just stay completely, like we are now.
I agree with that. Because if there's money to be made, we'll make a few bucks and we'll get a check. But every month that it costs money, we have to pay in. We're already
You're assuming
deflecting
all
the
the
cost of the incinerator
But
fee.
this is just asking for a proposed, which we can decline or accept.
Can we take this back and look at it and bring it up next week and discuss it?
Yep. I mean, we can get through it pretty quick. I'm just getting a little nervous about making sure we can get it
Yeah,
out.
we're running out of time.
Because,
We've had this for a long time.
but, that's fine, or we can, it's 20 of 8.
We can put it on the agenda for the 16th after the lawyer and get it done. Put it on the agenda and get it done
Okay.
next week.
As long as we get it done next week, I'll be happy.
And we'll accept no other,
But that was the one that was making me wonder, why would he not want that part of it? Because we can,
right.
the way this, it's written in here, we can either say, yes, we'd like to do that, or, you know what, no, we're not going to do that.
All right, now, did you want Tim to be
true.
present at this? Since, right now, he's the one that keeps track of all the data.
I think so, I would.
Yes, I would too.
Okay, good.
Something that I don't see in here, and maybe I'm just missing it, but it doesn't say anything about the collection containers. So if, let's just say, Casella wasn't the low bidder, they're going to take away their collection containers.
Yeah, they'll take them to some other
Didn't we
Tilton.
just buy, didn't we buy those collection containers?
I think you
Don't
need
they
to
say Town of
check.
Tilton on them?
Yeah.
The lid does.
We
We
bought
could
those.
change the lids. I don't think we purchased
We
them.
pay for
The side
those
says
every
Tilton,
year.
right?
We do pay for them, but I don't think we bought them. Let's
Why
check.
do we pay for containers that aren't ours?
Let's just check. I think it's a good thing to have it clear.
Wow.
Not my understanding that we own outright the containers.
They say Town of Tilton. I say they're ours,
We own the lids.
which is attached to the container.
Yeah.
From
Well,
Very
collecting
temporary.
Okay, well, wait, Dennis must have a Town of Tilton stencil. We can start spray painting them all.
I think I would just like to ascertain for a fact that if Casella walks away, those containers are
We have to
ours.
change the facility that the town designates.
I vaguely remember something that we don't own them, that they would take them back.
I think
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and they would just change the lids.
Right. I vaguely remember that.
We signed a 7-year contract, right, with Wheelabrator,
Through 2019.
2019, 14 to 19, so that's 5 years. All right, and this is going to be a 3-year contract, so we can leave Wheelabrator in there.
Yep.
All right?
And then the insurance, we want to increase to $5 million. And then on the bid form, the other thing was, you know how Dennis had an addendum on the containers that he uses for his other,
Yes, I think that's a
You know.
great idea.
okay. And we'll have Tim here?
Yep.
Okay. That's all I have.
That's it?
That's it.
All right,
Catherine, did you see this one yet? Oh, I'm sorry, what were we doing about this DOT? Deer Street, were we gonna sign this one?
are we signing Deer Street?
Sure.
DOT?
Sure.
Now, is that mid-block or,
It was mid-block.
Oh, that one, yeah.
We have lots of mid-blocks.
They're all mid-block, except for Park Street.
Yeah, Park and Prospect and those four, right?
Catherine, maybe?
We sign
Oh,
all,
no, Catherine. This
Yeah,
one
oh,
right
you
down
said-
here isn't, is it? Catherine?
Excuse me?
School Street's not mid-block.
Yes, it is,
Why?
because it doesn't go to an intersection.
Isn't it the intersection of Route 3 and School Street?
No, that's what Deer Street is.
Well, it
He
goes
said-
right across School Street.
He said in his definition, it had to go from one intersection to another, right?
yep.
But because it may start at an intersection, but if it doesn't end at an intersection, it's mid-block. Am I getting it right?
So that means none of them are, they're all mid-block.
Except
That's
for Park Street.
stupid.
Thank you.
Isn't it?
Now you know why I was upset.
Okay, the only thing that I have in a public session is we have a senior center yard sale, August 15th, May to 4. If anybody wishes to donate items for the yard sale, please bring them to the senior center. Monday through Friday. Contact Emily LaPlante. All proceeds go to the operating expenses of the senior center.
Yeah, I was going to bring some things to Salvation Army for the tax deduction.
These things are all
I
signed,
bring them to
right?
the senior center?
We can write it up.
Give,
Tell us how much it is, and we can give you a letter.
okay.
So this is all signed, right?
What day is that?
Okay, I thought it was something I had to
It's
sign.
August 15th, 8 to 4. Or if you want to do it ahead of time, you can. No, you gotta, did you sign it next to me?
Oh, where it said,
No, that's for, right here.
oh, I signed it in that one, okay.
We signed
Sign me while you're at it.
Pillsbury and the other one.
Peter Cottontail.
In a fog.
Okay, do you have, does anyone have anything for public session that needs to come up? Oh,
Well, I think it is.
excuse me, what's your name? Selectman Dawson, that's it. I know, hit me.
Are you going to talk about the school lights?
Oh, yeah, he responded, hold on a minute.
Yes.
Thank
He
you.
gave us a date.
Yes, I talked about that earlier already.
Oh, I was...
You weren't
As long
here.
as you told them the date.
No, but he wrote back, I asked if,
Is that it?
no, we have an addition to that. I asked him what time, and he said, I repeat, it will be after dark, I would assume 9 PM or so. Okay, we'll be there around 9. I will confirm the time.
Got something done charging.
I told you that before, when I went by, that's what I said to you.
God, who tripped?
No, that
That
was,
was you.
okay.
So, I gotta forward this rest to you, Joyce.
Okay.
This proposed changes, George? Is there proposed changes in here? Is that what this is?
On this one, yeah, we could.
Can we call Thanksgiving Friday Boxing Day?
All right, what else? What else?
I wanted to talk about the Sardi property.
Yeah,
and
but they
the
don't
sewer.
get it off.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, they do.
Okay, listen up. Catherine's got the floor.
All right.
Time's up.
The Sardi property is not hooked up to sewer, and there may or may not be a broken sewer pipe. It sounds like there probably is. I've had a couple of people contact me saying there's definitely a broken sewer pipe. Because we own it, we can pay to have it hooked up to the sewer, and then recoup that cost from either the taxpayer who wants to buy it back, or if we send it to auction. And I did send it out to the local government center just to confirm, and they confirmed.
And they said it was okay.
And I will forward
Forward the email.
Didn't you say
While you're here,
something
you
about condition of sale? You could
Nope.
make that a condition of sale, they have to hook up?
But it's easier if
own
we
that
do it ahead of
property.
time. It's-
We own it, it's ours.
I understand.
Doesn't matter what the previous owner has or has not.
I'm talking about future owners. Because I said something about forcing them to, let's just hook it up, and we'll put that on the price. And somebody said, oh, we'll just make that a condition of sale.
I think it was thought off afterwards, after that was said, thought through, I should say, and local government, that we can do it ahead of time.
Yeehaw, I was for it then, I'm for it now.
That way you're sure it's done.
That it's done.
What happens if somebody's going to tear it down?
Well, if they're gonna
Building.
rebuild, they still need
They still
the
need to hook the
connection.
sewer.
So it wouldn't all be just done in vain?
No,
No?
you have to have a connection.
Well, unless you're
to
just
sewer.
turning it into beach.
So you'd have a connection, if they wanted to relocate it, so they'd have to do it again? I mean, if it's faulty and you deem the septic tank is defective, Wouldn't that cause the same end result?
Except for they're not there often enough for it to show that it's in failure. It's most likely it's a 55-gallon drum.
Our ordinance
exactly
doesn't
what they said it
require it to
was.
be in failure, to be hooked up to sewer. It's required to because it's close enough to the project and it's an old enough system. So just our ordinance says, and we can't sit here and say, what if they tear it down or, build a skyscraper? The fact is, as it sits, that property is required to be hooked to sewer, municipal sewer.
So whoever gets it is going to have to do that. Why should we be shelling out the money?
We're going to recoup it,
We'll
How do you know?
recoup it because then,
part of this.
We have a right to recoup that money.
absolutely.
Anything we spend in that
I think I
process.
sent
But
it
what
to
happens
everybody.
By
if...
law, we have a right to recoup
Yes,
it.
but if we auction it off, don't we
We
get
still-
whatever the...
If we auction it off for less money, you're right, we don't recoup that money.
And the value, right now, we're at 72,000 plus the cost of the installation of a sewer.
Yeah, on a property that's valued at, what, 300,000?
Technically, it's 44,000 and a penalty.
Right.
All right, so everything we collect over the 44 plus the
get it?
sewer, the penalty, even if we made 60 grand, we're still ahead. And that property is hooked to the sewer. It's within feet, inches of the lake. I
Yes.
mean, it really needs be on the
There's
sewer.
no battle doing it this way. If
Right.
we have that hooked up, there's no battle. There's no, okay, we're going to pull your occupancy permit. We're not going to let you live there until, so it sits there vacant, still not hooked to sewer, and then they sell it. Now we go with the same argument with a new, it just makes it easier. It makes it in compliance. Right now, it is not in
But if we
compliance
pull
with
the
our ordinance.
occupancy permit, it's a moot point. You don't have to spend any money or do anything.
And what happens when they decide to move in without the occupancy permit? Now you have...
Now you
So
gotta
you can't
evict
have,
them.
you can't have an
Well,
occupancy
yeah, but now you have
permit
to take them to
connect the
court
sewer.
over it, you're incurring fees on that.
Yeah.
It's a town-owned
Not gonna
property
get-
that's out of compliance.
Yeah.
If any properties in the town should be in compliance, I think it should be the town-owned property.
And if it's a different owner that buys it, they'll probably
Did you get it?
raise the building, but they're still going to want the sewer.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cheaper to throw the whole building into a dumpster
kinda.
True.
and just sell it as a lot.
then they
and
gotta
They must
rebuild.
connect to
But
sewer.
even as a
lot-
lot, it needs to be hooked to sewer. If the building burned tomorrow, it should be.
So I think we need a motion to continue that, to go ahead and get the sewer connected and
Make a motion to get prices and go forward with having it. We should get prices.
That's two different things. Going forward to get prices, then based on the prices, we could decide who we wanted and so
we're
forth.
still going to go ahead and do it.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
just have to pick which one. You're going to get the prices anyway.
You're going
Okay.
to bid it, right?
So go ahead and go ahead and make the motion to
hook up to sewer.
up to sewer and then add it as a coincident, is it a coincidental, all incidental and consensual costs are reasonably incurred maintaining it, the property, so that's under the RSA 8090. So, go ahead and make that motion and we'll
Yeah, can you remember all that, Kath?
make a motion to
What she
hook them
said.
to sewer.
Make a motion to go forward and have the property hooked to sewer.
Second.
All right, in discussion,
Are you going to get a
We're gonna
price from Bernie?
we're going to
No.
require if it's bought back from the original property owners, that they must be reimbursed, they must reimburse per the law? Okay. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
one
wait a minute.
one more question there before, so if the original property owner buys it back, they can't argue that, well, that was still working and that was still functional.
matter.
No.
And
They're in violation
They're not
of
in
the
compliance.
ordinance.
Did you get this? I sent the thing out to everybody.
They're currently in
If the
violation.
former owner of the premises sought to repurchase the property from the town, and while the town-owned the property, the town followed its own sewer use ordinance and
Right.
connected the property to the town sewer system, the former owner would be required to reimburse the town for the cost of the sewer connection, in addition to all back taxes, interest, and other recoverable costs.
Okay,
So, did you forward that one?
I'm all set.
All right, all those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Good.
Okay. So you're gonna get prices and pick the best
Who you
price.
getting?
The pump is
I thought
already
I
there, it
talked to you
shouldn't be
about it.
that hard.
Okay.
Reardon. All right,
Reardon would
Just had
be
one thing.
yeah.
Farrington possibly.
I think, Pat, this Saturday, isn't that Starbucks?
Yes.
Yes. Saturday is Coffee with a Cop from 9 a.m. to, oh, I'm sorry, 11, I think it is. Wait a minute. I got it.
I've got 9 a.m. to start, 9 to 10?
I had it down at 9. I think Corporal...
9 a.m.
Corporal Henry said 9
Yes,
a.m.
9 a.m.
To what?
It doesn't-
Coffee with a cop.
Oh, yeah,
Till
9
when it-
a.m. to...
When it ends.
Midnight.
I usually
When there's
go in
nobody
at-
talking to,
Who's on
I don't
duty
get
that day?
coffee. I get chai.
You can get chai.
No. They'll each go in there for like an hour, so like they take turns.
Oh, they take turns, okay.
And it's at the Starbucks at the outlet malls.
Yeah.
Hmm?
okay,
That's all I had.
all right. Chief, did we mention the Every Child is Ours, the pancake breakfast?
Not yet.
It's on my report,
Yeah.
but
I know, I'm trying to find your report now.
July 18th,
July 18th at 8
8 to 10.
to 10, Every Child is Ours, fundraiser, good cause.
It's meals and clothes.
Where's
All right.
that?
Applebee's.
It's Applebee's.
This group provides meals, wholesome, nutritious things for children to eat
What time?
This, Pat?
on the weekends. They get to
Down
take
bottom.
home a thing with them as they go, and it very strictly run. It's not a casual thing. And, I've done some research, and Mr. Chuck Drew is in charge of it. So,
No.
Hey,
Catherine is mentioning haying, Scott.
Turn.
Scott, haying.
you know, big, strong guy, pick up bales
Yep.
off ground
When?
this weekend?
When?
Figure it out.
when you going to be doing it, Catherine? I'll bring my nephew over. I'll bring my nephew over.
Probably Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, well, we'll
I
swing
got my
by.
fingers crossed on tonight.
We'll swing by. I grew up doing hay with Jack Fitzpatrick, and I would love to throw some bales. It'll bring me back to my youth. It'll kill me, but it'll bring me back to my youth.
Gonna be here
When-
next week.
When are you
right?
going to decide?
With a crutch and a
Do I know whether I'm
cane.
doing a day trip or a two-dayer or what?
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll be doing it both days.
Okay.
All
Barring
right.
anything breaking
Look at the
down.
weather and
Well, it's
should be-
supposed to be clear after tonight.
All right, so that's it. July 18th. That's it. Okay. At this time, I would like to make a motion to go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3, personnel, legal, and that's it, right? That's it. Roll call vote?
Yes.
yes.
And we're red, the time being 8:58. I would like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel personally, permanently. I was waiting for your hand to whip around.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Second.
Aye.
Favor?
Aye.
We're out of here, folks.
Torture us.
Head of the meeting.
He's gonna get a shock. You wonder